Might help if I translate it, right? Prepare yourself and get an education so you can have a better future. Those were the words of a hardworking woman who would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and make a meal for her children and her husband before walking out the door to work a 10-hour shift in the fields under 100 degrees weather. That woman was my mother. A hardworking woman who did anything in her power to give her children a better life. I still remember the day that my mom decided to take me out of school for a day and take me to her job. It was all fun and games at first. I laid the paper on the ground as they cut the grapes and laid them on the floor. I observed that everyone, all the workers there, were covered from head to toe in clothing and didn't quite understand why. As the day progressed and the sun got hotter and hotter and hotter, I understood what they were doing. They were protecting themselves from the rays of the hot, burning sun. These conditions were unhuman. But as I stood there, with the sun dripping from my face, I told myself I would never come back and work in these fields. Mija, if you want a better future, get an education so you can have a better life. At that moment, as I looked at the fields and saw grapevine after grapevine after grapevine, it seemed like the day would never end. And I told myself that I would repay my parents for their sacrifices. I am the youngest of 6 and the first to graduate from high school and attend a 4-year university. My parents didn't know much about school, college, or what the process was, but I managed to put myself through school. And the day that I presented my parents with my college diploma, their facial expressions was priceless. At that moment, I knew that I had repaid every sacrifice that my parents had made for myself. I value my culture very much, and the values that my parents taught me of hard work and dedication. And I thought I knew myself very well and what I stood for. But as I entered the EDI program, I found myself evaluating where I was and where I wanted to be. These last 8 months, we've attended different sessions and learned about dealing with conflict, learning how to take risks and how comfortable you feel, speaking to persuade and navigating to a leadership role. The one that really stood out to me was leadership passage and personal growth. I knew that I wasn't yet where I wanted to be. So I decided to take 4 key points and focus on them. Taking stretched assignments and getting out of my comfort zone. Learning to accept failure and learning from every single one of those mistakes. Learning how to balance family and work, now that I have a 1-year-old. And building a network of mentors and great leaders. I recently took on a new role in my job that I told myself I would make the best out of it and be able to give the best of myself. I was at an event and the keynote speaker said something that really stuck with me. He said, when you walk through a door of opportunities, remember to hold the door open for those behind you. So today I challenge my fellow classmates, los Conquistadores. As you succeed in your career and become leaders in your work environment, don't forget to hold the door open for those that are walking behind you. I challenge the managers in this room to leave door opens of opportunities for others as well. I want to thank today my manager, Adam Hobbs, and our director, Scott Knight, for believing in my leadership potential and allowing me to participate in this program. Thank you, Dan, for being an alumni and sharing your experience in the program and how I can apply that today in my work experience. I want to thank my husband for being so supportive and always being my best cheerleader when I take on extra things, even with our crazy schedule. And last but not least, I want to thank my mother. She wasn't able to be here today, but I called her and I told her what I was doing, so she was excited. Mamá, estoy aquí hoy gracias a tu trabajo y dedicación y sigo luchando por un mejor futuro. Mom, I am here thanks to you and your hard work, and I keep fighting for a better future. Thank you.